because when we work with young people specifically, and I'm going on about 30 years or better. Shoot, 30 was just mine, but yeah, it's right at a little better than 30 years working with young people. They're a whole different. Well, you know, I'm talking to the educated. They different in our life that we have to we deal with it, right? You know, especially men, we compartmentalize stuff. We put that over here, we'll deal with that later because it's not a priority to deal with. So think about this looking through the lens of a young person and how they see all the stuff that they see, and then don't really have the experience or the knowledge of how to cope with it. They're releasing pressure. We used to say that, and I'm guilty of it, and if you're honest, you may be guilty of it too, but we used to smoke weed. Well, let me operative word being used to. Well, maybe I just speak for me. I used to smoke weed. And we did it to get high. But what I've learned with these students that we work with, and not just here, but wherever I go, they don't necessarily smoke to get high. They smoke to get by. They're coping with things. They're dealing with stuff, right? And that's a release for them. That's not the most healthiest piece, but they're trying to figure things out, right? Avoidance. All right, now look at the overlap. And this is where we find our students. Difficulty in concentrating and learning in school. Easily distracted. Often doesn't seem to listen. Disorganization, hyperactive, restless, difficulty sleeping. Does any of that fit any of the students that you work with? So there's an overlap with trauma and ADHD, however you want to label him, working, and I have an older white superintendent that reprimands him, but he does it in a way that is disrespectful to him because he raises his voice. That's a trigger for that young man. And things are going to go a whole lot different than they thought it was going to go when they both got out of bed that morning. So it's necessary to understand who we're dealing with and what are the things that we have to do to try not to trigger some of it. So we will respond to the need rather than react to the behavior of students that I have dealt with and have seen. So when someone kicks the door down and shoots everybody in the house, but you got away because you was in the closet, that's some heavy stuff. Right? Matter of fact, just 2 quarters, I think it should have been maybe the summer then, one of my partner's son, the mother of his child got murdered right in front of the 1-year-old child that was on the couch. And I had to go with him over there to clean up the house, and we're looking at, blood everywhere. What in the world is that 1-year-old going to remember? And how is it going to impact her? Some may say, oh, well, she'll grow out of it. No, you ain't growing out of something like that. Even if you only have a slight indication that something may have happened, that I just can't really place it, it's still there. And all it takes is something to trigger it for it to flail child, or going to prison and then can't take it and end up hanging themselves in the cell. This is real life stuff. That's where this is coming from. Trauma. I still have to be careful because what I do and what I say is going to impact them, and I don't want to further traumatize them in other stuff. So when you start thinking about that, this is good on the impact that trauma has on the brain.